Oh man, I'm all up in the camera. Moke and friends. Today is a very special day. Today I have a really good friend of mine. I didn't know what to call you at first, but I see your name down there. I didn't know to call you Troublesome or Joey, but I have Joey Pineda.
Pineda. Pineda.
Pineda.
Yeah.
So is Troublesome like Troublesome Comic? The name, or is it just
Well,
still Troublesome?
it's still troublesome. Is still troublesome, but troublesome comics is going to be and is the my publishing company name for
Okay,
any comics I drop. Think of it like a label, kind of, basically,
right.
um, because I'm gonna have several series. I'm gonna
Yeah.
write comics till I die, man. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. And before we get into the show, it is still the winter shit that's going on. So if you hear a lot in the background, it's like eight of us over here and they're cooking dinner, drinking, and stuff, having a good time, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's all good. All good.
but man, how's it over there for y'all? How's it looking over there in the good old West Texas?
It's looking better, but I mean, it was hell for a few days.
Yeah.
Actually, I should say almost damn near a week, almost, man.
Mm.
I mean,
When did
shoot.
it happen for you?
Sunday, I think it was Sunday. I started losing power through Tuesday
What
and
up, bro?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I started losing power. I lost power by like 5 or 6 times.
Mm.
Longest duration for me was 8 hours one time and then 5 hours one time, and the other stuff was kind of like the standard hour to 2 hours where you're out without power, and then you come back on, and it was
Man,
rough,
oh
man. It was cold. It was cold. I mean,
yeah,
even though we're inside, man, it's
yeah.
I don't ever wear hoodies or jackets or anything inside. So the fact that I had to put a hoodie on, a beanie, get under the
Yeah.
covers, just feels wrong. It feels wrong on all
See,
levels.
I wear hoodies and stuff inside all the time, but now it was like necessary. But for us, our power is still out, but it went out like Sunday night or something, and it came
Yeah.
on for like 5 minutes Monday, and then it just kind of been off ever since. But so anyway, Joey is a good friend of mine, as I was saying, and I met him through the music scene, and and I didn't even think about it until the till I was kind of preparing for the show that I forgot that you were like the notorious one in West Texas for shooting videos too. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I was just trying to shoot videos for anybody.
How'd you get into shooting videos?
Man, everything that I've ever ventured out on, it all stemmed from one
Mm,
thing, and it was music. Music was like that seed of creation for me that planted that seed by just starting music, and then next thing you
yeah,
know, started shooting videos, started doing graphics, studio time.
yeah.
Everything I've ever done was because of music.
Right, but did you like okay, for instance, I am really good at engineering in music
Mhm.
because I didn't have an engineer, so I had to learn how to do it. So I didn't want to do it, so I had to learn. But for videos, did you want to do it, or is it something you had to do because maybe you wasn't fucking with nobody's quality, or you just want to do it your way?
I actually wanted to do it myself because you know I I'm that kind of person that just I, I like to learn. I like to
Mm,
learn, So anything I've ever wanted to do, I've found a way to learn how to do it, and the beauty of the way things are nowadays, when I first started doing a lot of things, I had to like actually learn from people or read books and get there. Now,
yeah,
internet, internet, YouTube, Google. I
right,
mean, you can learn anything nowadays. But it just came from a want, not a need,
yeah,
really. It's a want, because one one thing I've always noticed is, I mean, I put my all into everything I do.
mm,
So everything I've ever done, that's been no different. So like if I feel like no one's been able to offer that to me, then I'm like, I want to learn it. I'll do it. I'll
yeah,
put in the legwork. And it's crazy, man. Like, when you look up to somebody or look up to somebody's work,
mm,
you're like, man, I want to get there. I want to
yeah,
get there. No one understands. A lot of people don't understand that journey because they'll see something and want to get there, but then it's hard for them to deal with that frustration that they're not there overnight.
Right.
Everything takes work, man. and
Yeah.
and I look at my videos went from home, how can I put it, they look like home videos at first,
Right.
and
Right.
then they started looking professional quality, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the journey to get there, man, it was awesome, man. Like, it was just, you got to appreciate the journey in
Hmm.
anything you do. If you don't, it's just like one of those things. It's like, man, you're never gonna be happy,
Yeah.
And with me, I'm happy with what I've done, and I'll be honest, man, nowadays, like, it's nice to see that there are people that care about quality nowadays, because
Right.
people did not care about quality back in the day.
But you kind of had it good though, because when you were doing videos, it didn't matter if the artist was good or bad, because niggas was making oil field money, so niggas was okay to drop that money.
Yeah, yeah, but the other thing too is even when an artist wasn't so great,
Mm.
a lot of times you pair that up with a good visual, and it was there, like I think a lot of people started liking a lot of people's music. I guess, like, a lot of people got second chances because they got to have a visual put to their music, and then when the
Right.
visuals, the quality's there, it's like, man, it's a win-win for the artist, and most of the people that I shot videos for, I've seen them grow, and that's
Right.
been beautiful. There are some that just fell off, and I don't know if they even do music anymore. But
Were
I
you
mean,
were you ever biased on making a video? Like, if the nigga sucked or was really good, were you biased on, or you just treat everybody the same?
I'm biased now.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not feeling it, I'll turn it down.
Oh, so
But
you won't even just like have that. Okay, that's very noble of you.
well, back when I started doing it, you know, I respected the initiative and effort, even from artists that maybe aren't so great, that they
Hmm.
actually, they're going to put money behind themselves and invest in themselves. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do the best I can to coach you to get this video kind of nice looking, and
Right.
I was able to do that, and it was nice because there wasn't a lot of people doing it.
Right.
The only bad thing about that is, like everything else with music that it comes with, it's always like everybody wants a freebie and a handout,
Mm.
and I'll be honest, that was the most frustrating part about music, even on the local level. Like, I mean, let's face it, everybody wants to get what they can get, and
Right.
I get it. I'm an artist myself, and you know, I would like a little help sometimes too. But at the same sense, I've always been wired differently. Where, like, if I want something and I got to pay extra to get that quality, then I'm gonna do it. That's just
Mm.
me, because
Right.
I
Yeah.
respect anybody that has any kind of craft, and if I got to pay for it, then I'm gonna pay for it. If I don't have the money, I will say, look, let me save up the money, and then I'm gonna holler at you when I'm ready. And
Yeah.
that's just the way I've always worked. And I guess not everybody feels that same way. I mean, it's okay when people don't have the
DDP
money.
say you trying to say people cheap without saying it.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be politically correct. It's just my mind's wired, man. Like, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
people
you.
are cheap, man. And that's
All right.
okay.
So let's step out of music real quick.
Okay.
So fast forward, I met you in music, blah blah blah, yada yada, and so then you comes that time with the artist where you realize, like, okay, I may not want to be doing this forever, or you know what I'm saying, I may want to venture off or do something like that. And
Mhm.
then I remember I never heard nothing from you, and then you popped up with the comic, which brings us to, how did you get into comics? Because I honestly don't even know if I truly know this story.
You
So
you
I
actually
I,
don't.
I myself am intrigued.
You actually don't, because what happened was, I kind of, when we did the when you were the host to my podcast, that
Right.
one
Yeah.
episode, we were like, hush hush, so I didn't even tell you anything yet, so
Ah,
yeah, you
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
know, man. But it's beautiful how this happened, though, because you know I gotta give up to Eric, man. Eric and his, Eric,
The my craze.
E Craze, everyone that knows E
Yeah.
Craze, a dumb genius, like, so here's what happened. I was talking to him about, man, look, I know I've been on a little hiatus from music, but look, I'm coming back to music. I got an album called Trouble's Back. I even got some artwork done for it, and I'm like, look, check it out. And the artwork looked like comic book art, right? And I
Who
was
did
like,
the artwork?
man, I'm sorry.
Did you start off with artwork? 'Cause I remember you
Well,
were
actually, yeah,
doodling.
I started. The artwork was the first thing I ever got done. It was just
Mm,
one of those things. I was like, I'll get the artwork and then I'll tailor the music to it, right?
right.
And what had happened was it looked like comic book art, and I was joking around with Eric, and I'm like, man, it'd be so badass if I could drop a comic with my album, And he was like, dude, you know what? It's actually more possible than you realize. And he started kind of like, giving me the game a little bit and telling me, hey, look, man, this is what you do, and this is what it could cost. I mean, it's like shopping. Like you find what you need that to pay for. I mean, everyone charges different prices, so he told me that where to get started. And really what it came down to, he was like, look, this is how I found an artist, because he was just starting his comic, and he
Mm.
was like, look, you got to find an artist. This is how you kind of script, this is how you plan stuff out. And
So
he literally
he was
just,
already doing the research before
yeah,
you.
he
Okay.
was already doing the research, and it was already like pretty much, like, he already had a foot in the door just doing it.
So Craze pretty much put you on to
Yeah,
like inspiring you. Okay, that's
yeah.
dope.
He opened my eyes to say, hey, look, that's not a bad idea. That's actually a
Yeah,
great idea,
yeah.
and it's actually possible.
So before we get into how you got into it, I know you always been like the collector of toys and different things like that. Were you always in the comics like
Yeah,
before? Because
yeah,
I never
yeah.
seen
I
comics.
I was, but I had very little, because most of my collection from moving as a kid and all that got lost in the moves and everything.
Mm,
But I would get a comic here and there, not heavy. Here's the thing that happened about collecting and pretty much vamping it back up, basically. So my dad passes, and now both of my parents are gone. So I'm like, look, I told myself and promised myself that whatever brings me joy, never let go of that. And
mm.
comics, collecting toys, um, music, now creating comics, anything that brings me any kind of joy, never let go of that. And
Right.
I've been going hard, man, with what I do now. And I mean, the studio now looks, I mean, you can see a little bit in the background. It's worse than this, like
Before we jump into all the gloriness of the studio, I still want to know how you got into it. So
okay,
you you yourself are drawing the
no. So,
so you
so,
gave somebody the yeah.
so basically, it's like everything else. It's like writing a song. You write all the work down, the ideas and everything, right? I
Mm,
find an artist, pay the artist, I give them all my ideas and everything. Then someone actually draws my stuff, and after that's done, I basically, I take you know, I take all that artwork and I start lettering. I taught myself how to letter, so and then
what's
also ink
letter?
lettering, like all the bubbles, all the words, all the layouts on the comics, like
So do you have the story before the picture or the pictures first?
now you have the story before the pictures. So
Okay.
think of it like this: you have an idea for a movie,
Mm,
that's where it starts. Everything starts with an idea. Then you start to refine those ideas by maybe outlining the story or going straight to scripting. Scripting, like how they have all the dialogue in the movies, that's basically what scripting is. I have the ideas there, and reading comics already kind of gives me an idea on how to pace the story, what kind of action to have.
right.
So basically, all I got to do now is just write it out and say, hey, look, in this box panel right here, this is what's happening. This is the dialogue. I write all that out, and send that to the artist, and he's able to draw everything basically. Of course, I'm going to provide references and stuff.
Okay, so you're telling me you're writing like you're writing like a movie like scene, there's
Yeah,
gloomy night, such and
yeah,
such walks in, blah
exactly,
blah. Okay, and
exactly.
so he's just making that creation, and at this point he already has what the characters look like, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Because here's what's happened. So before all that, like this is how I went about it. Before I went all that, I had to figure out what the all the characters were going to look like, the main characters,
Right.
which was no. it was easy, because most of my characters are based on real people,
Hmm.
so that makes it easy. So like for me, when I'm out of costume in my comic, I provide a picture of myself and I'm like, look, draw me like this, but maybe add some muscles or something, like
Right, right, yeah.
he has a reference, it's one of those things, that you just describe it, provide whatever reference that the artist can have, and they'll sketch something out, send it to me and say, hey, is this what you're looking for? Is this what you cool with this? And I'm like, yeah. And then he'll move on. And next thing you know, it's done, man. I mean,
How did you choose your artists?
so I basically, the beauty about social media is now I can work with anybody around the world.
Right.
So I asked a bunch of artists on a lot of Facebook groups. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for an artist. This is the type of story I'm doing. Um, Send me your portfolio and your prices. And a lot of people hit. I mean, man, people. There's a lot of like hungry artists out there. So they blow your inbox up. And now I gotta decide. Okay, whose
Yeah.
artwork style do I like? What price can I afford? All that good stuff. And then once I decided, the way I decided, I saw my artist is his name is Martin Patron, and he's from the Philippines.
Mm.
So he sent me a link to his portfolio. I saw two things: he draws and he colors, and a lot of times those services are separated.
Mm.
So when I saw that he does it all, and then on top of that, I saw like a lot of pages where it was like, man, this is the exact tone and style that I'm looking for. So let me hit him up. Hit him
Yeah.
up. He told me what he needed from me, and man, then we're done. We're done. We're done with that whole exchange, and then I'm providing with all the information, script, and references, and we
But
got the ball
okay,
rolling piece by
but
piece.
when they give the price, is it saying like, okay, this is the price for a full book, and what's a full book, like 10 pages or?
Well, it's more by really. It's for like So first thing we were talking about characters first, right? So
Mm.
there for my artist, he has a character price. So he's like, design you a character, it's X amount of dollars per character. I was like, okay, cool, got that. Get the characters out the way. Then his other rate is, okay, he is like, you want me to draw art and you want me to color it.
Right.
So this is what I charge for that, and that's per page. So you got a page rate and then you got a design rate for like characters. And I mean, I had my first book had 16 pages plus two covers.
Mm.
So,
Two
I
covers
spent, I
mean
mean,
front and back.
yeah, well, two different versions. So here's the thing with comics is you get choices. You'll have a regular cover and then you'll have a special edition cover.
Right.
And with comics, a lot of people like choices.
Right.
This is the one time that judging a book by its cover is actually kind of cool and might save your ass.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you got choices, say they don't like the regular cover, but then they see that special cover and they're like, you know what? I am going to give that story a shot.
Right.
And to be honest, having choices, that saved my ass a lot, because a lot of people are like, man, I really wasn't feeling that first cover, but I like this cover. And I'm sure glad I got it because I love the story.
Mm.
And, and I mean, you know, just kind of like give you an example of what a book takes, like just for artwork itself. Like I'm spending a couple thousand, you know,
Wait.
that's just, yeah,
Okay.
spending a couple of thousand, to get the artwork done. But here's the thing, that sounds scary, like everything sounds scary, but how hard are you going to push to make that money back? I push
Mm.
hard, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, I feel like I'm always going to be grind mode. I'm always going to be in grind mode, no matter, even if I was ever to get famous for doing this shit, like I will still grind hard like I'm doing right now,
Right.
because, you can never get content. And to be honest, I wish that I could do this like full time. So
Mm.
that's, I'm pushing for and seeing what I can do, make happen.
Give me a ball price. You don't gonna give me your real number, but give me a ball price number of a price of everything, like complete. From the artwork to the just complete.
Like even printing and everything,
No, no, no,
or
not
just
not that
artwork,
yet.
just
Just
artwork.
the, just,
Okay.
just the artwork, and like they send you back the comic.
So artwork, you're probably looking at, 2 to 5,000.
Okay.
Just depends on how many pages you have.
What
You
up,
know,
Plat?
like I mean, you know me. I'm pretty, savvy with when it comes with
I
money
know,
and
like
whatnot. So
your shit looks really official. So okay, so we just gonna say $3,000, okay?
yeah,
And so
that's fine.
now for the 16 pages.
Yep.
So how much for the finished product outside
So
outside of the artwork?
so outside of the artwork, now you're looking. I like to order a couple $100. So I'm probably looking at maybe like spending an additional out of that 3 grand. Go ahead and add another grand, maybe 800 to a grand. So let's just add a grand, just to kind of.
Okay.
So let's say I'm going to order books for the whole year. So
Okay.
let's add a grand. So that's 4 grand I've already put to create this thing to get it printed as well.
When,
So
when when you
now
say when you say books for the whole year, so how many is that?
that's anywhere from 2 to 500 for me at least because
Okay,
I'm
and so 1,000's a good price for that, right?
yeah
That
yeah
sounded good. All right.
yeah. I'm starting to learn that there's other ways to get my cost on printing cheaper. You
Right.
know, but it's like everything else. You find companies and you find the best price that has the best quality that you're looking for your budget.
How does that search go? Like how do
Oh
you
man, it
find?
it it was
Let
hard,
me let
man.
me let me say this because I remember I was in the Virgin Islands when I bought your first comic, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I said I did not want it for free. And you tried to give it to me free and I bought it.
Yeah,
And I remember when I got it, it came in the plastic and
yeah,
it was I wish I had it here, but it was official as fuck.
yeah.
So because I know if I would have did that, my shit would probably look so cheap because I would have just with a cheap route. So how did you go about finding like where do you even start?
Man, honestly, it started with a Google search, man. Like I'm like comic book printing, and then I start finding companies, and I'm looking, and what I did because I want to see the quality, I requested samples from all the companies that I looked into,
But what does samples mean? They just send you
like
samples of their own stuff?
well, what it looked like it was it looked like it was other people's product that they got permission to kind of use as samples.
Mhm.
So they print them, send you a copy of that, and then some companies would send me like a copy, like a little spiral that had all the print, the different paper qualities. Because when it comes with paper on comics, it's all about the weight. So the heavier it is, the more thicker it's going to be, and
So
higher
how do you
quality.
how do you choose between the magazine paper comic book and then the old school like papery paper?
So here's the thing about that. So I knew what I wanted first. I knew I
Mhm.
wanted to have like, because I read comics and I have a shitload of comics right now. So
Right.
I know that I want kind of like that glossy kind of look. Because to me, I'm like I'm paying so much money for artwork that I want it to look good on paper. So to me, glossy pages was a no brainer. Now,
Yeah.
once I was in my second year, I found a company that actually prints, on the newspaper kind, like we're used to back in the day.
Yeah.
So, and those were really, really cheap, but you have to order a minimum of 500, So, I mean, I ordered those too because sometimes when I'm doing conventions, some people can't afford the really good pages, but they love comics. And I'm like, look, I got a cheaper version here that has a great story and it still has the artwork. So I call that like the OG edition, like
But
you want
it, but
that.
it, but it, but it's two different comics than what the
It's the same comic except it's printed on two different papers, basically.
like as Julia said, like the newspaper feeling.
Yeah,
Because I feel like that to me that's the
yeah.
nostalgic feeling of comics.
But see, here's the thing though. Like you got to think, just like music, you have different generations that like different things.
Mm,
Like all the OGs are gonna like the newsprint. You know, all the. I guess I could say like the younger crowd is gonna like the glossy pages more because
right.
that's what they're used to right now.
Yeah.
When they see newspaper, they're like, oh, this is some old shit. Like it's just that mentality. But everybody
Yeah.
likes different, so I offer it. I'm like, look, if you don't like this kind, I got this kind. And it's just choices again. Choices,
Mm,
and I mean, what can I say? I mean, I want to do anything I can do to
right.
make sure I make that sell too, because I mean, shoot, the more I got to offer, the more people are going to buy.
So okay, so when it's all said and done, we're looking at 4 to 5 thousand with finished product
Yeah,
and copies to sell.
correct.
Okay, now you just got your package, and you know what I'm saying, and I'm talking to you, and then I remember, because I don't live there, so I don't know what you're doing, and so I
Yeah.
was checking from time to time, and then I see, yes, it's Comic Con. So for you to be, because it was like your first issue,
Yeah.
so how did that happen? Because I would feel that somebody would like, did you get chose or
Now, so here's the thing, and this is where the familiar territory comes into play, like music does.
yeah,
You you pay, you know, but it's different because now you're paying for a table or a booth,
instead
that
of
will
paying
actually.
$1,000 for 15 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're paying a couple $100 for the weekend, for
Right.
two and a half, 2.5 days to 3 days. It just
Mm,
depends. So it's, and not to mention, since I'm a creator, you know, tables are a little cheaper than just a vendor. So
what's
it,
the
it
difference?
so a vendor is going to be that person that's like selling toys, and they're not creating anything. They're just literally like think about it like they're a traveling store basically, and
Yeah,
they got a space at a Comic Con and they're selling shit. Then they have everybody that puts their hard earned money into creating, and those people are treated different, I guess, because they're creating to get something out to somebody, an art form, whether it's a craft, maybe they're crafters, or they're artists or they're writers,
they don't get a table.
yeah, like they get table,
Oh,
they'll pay a cheaper rate, just because they categorize, because at the end of the day, we're probably going to have less merch than a big vendor, and these vendors that do stuff, they're going to have more merchandise and they're actually able to make their money a lot faster than we are.
yeah,
So I don't know the exact logic, but that's how I see it. Um, so I mean, it's just, and Chris was already doing DDP was already doing Comic Con, so I
right.
kind of was familiar with how they kind of go because I attended a few of his before I actually became a creator, and it was nice, man. Like Chris was doing his thing, and man, like he just like his con was one of the first ones I almost did, but there was
Mm,
another con right before his. So me and Eric, we jumped, me and he crazed whatever everybody knows him by. We jumped on to do this thing called Lubbock Con, and
yeah,
basically it was just a Comic Con in Lubbock that Lubbock puts on, and we were like, man, let's try this. Let's see what we can do. Me being the person that I am, I was like telling Eric, I was like, okay, man, we got to look the part, so let's get us some t-shirts made that we'll wear, kind
yeah,
of like, we're a walking billboard now.
right, yeah,
So let's get us a t-shirt to wear of our own stuff. Let's get a table banner. Hey man, look, I was doing some research, hey, I found banners that we can, we'll have behind the table. And for our first con, we looked like we knew what we were doing and we had no clue. We just tried to do our best,
yeah,
and man, we both, for our first con, we both did good sales wise just because we put in that legwork to try to prepare for it, even though we didn't know how to prepare for it.
yeah,
So it was nice, man. And then a month later, then I did actually probably 2 weeks later, I did DDP's Permanent Basin Comic Con.
mm,
Oh man, like to I'm gonna put it, to go from music to comics was such a lovely thing because here's what happened. When we do music and we try to sell merch, CDs, T-shirts, whatever, ain't nobody want to buy them because there's a million other artists trying to sell shit.
right, yeah,
Well, with Comic Cons, it's different because there's actual support there. People attend Comic Cons to buy stuff.
yeah,
You
and
know,
and they're looking for new shit too.
yes. So
Yeah,
it was the first time that we both got hella love at home. You know,
yeah,
like I mean, like we got love for doing music, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the
yeah, yeah.
same at
It's
all.
it's, def- it's definitely a different, yeah,
Like you actually get to you no longer get a pat in the back. Now you're getting, you're getting your picture taken, you're signing stuff,
Yeah.
you're making money, and it's like, man, like it's like one of those things, man. That's that support, that feeling is like, okay, man, this is what we want to do the rest of our lives, man. Like,
Yeah.
and to be honest, like we're at that time where it's like, you know what, man, like life is so precious. Like we should be doing what we love, and
Yeah.
we're there. We just got to find a way to do it full time.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
So,
So
so, so all in all, man, it's, man, the experience is great because you get to see your hard work pay off really quickly. And when I say pay off, I'm like feeling fulfilled that you've accomplished something.
right. Yeah.
It doesn't even matter about the money at that point. It's just like, man, you know, we're successful in the terms of seeing it through, getting our story out to people, and just, man, just getting there, man.
Yeah.
And it's man. Like one of these days, I'm gonna go to Austin and do a Comic Con there, and
Mm,
you can chill with me all weekend, and you'll see how that vibe is so different, man. Like it's, man, it's nothing like you've ever experienced before.
right.
Like it feels great being on stage. Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
the other
yeah.
thing. Being on stage, you know, we can we are still able to be on stage, and the way that we're on stage now is they call these things like panels, right? And it's
Right.
basically like, we stand up there or sit up there and talk, and then it's a Q&A,
Mm,
and we get to tell people our journey, and it's cool because we always inspire somebody,
right.
and when we finish talking, people go up to us and be like, oh man, I want to start doing this. How do I go about it? Man, and it's just so nice to inspire people to do something that they love or
Yeah.
want to know how to go about it because they want to do it.
Hmm.
There are two kinds of people, to me, when it comes to creating. There are people that want to follow just because they want to have that lifestyle, and there are people that truly, truly, truly love creating. And those that truly, truly love creating, that aren't doing it for the clout, they're doing it because they truly love it. Like those are the kind of people that I want to help. And I've met a lot of people, man. Like this is this is my this year is my fourth year doing comics,
Hmm.
and I will tell you this, man. A lot of the people that I've inspired now have their own books out. I'll go to a
Nice.
Comic Con, I'll go to their city, and then they'll have a booth, and I'm like, dude, you did it, man.
Yeah.
Let me buy a copy. Let me buy a couple of copies. So
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I support other people, so
Right.
I'll buy people's books. I'll buy people's artwork, man. I mean, I'm at the point now where I know a lot of people, man, and man, I show up to these things and people show me a lot of love,
Yeah.
and they show me a lot of love because the one thing that I've always learned from music, and this, I've always been humble, man, and
Hmm.
people see that, and it's like, man, like people treat me really well, man. Like I feel like with music, I had a lot of acquaintances.
Right.
With Comic Cons and comics, I got a lot of friends.
Right. Yeah. Because the music is like people sometimes fuck with you just for what you can do for them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And two things. This was gonna be my music segue, but
Okay.
I was in the comics and stuff. I mean the comments, and one to answer. Do you? No, I do not shave the middle of my shit. It just does not grow, and and which takes me to I was talking about music. And Daniel's asking a question also, and I was saying how do you incorporate your music with your comics? And now are you is it like a soundtrack, or have you thought about doing a well Daniel said a audio comic?
So here's the thing. One thing that everybody kind of gotta know: Trouble's back. What's it about, really? Because this is gonna lead into it'll make more sense. So Trouble's back is basically, it's a superhero music themed comic.
Right.
So I've taken things that I've experienced with hip hop, doing it locally and in Colorado and stuff. And I've taken those experiences, and now you have a superhero trying to save the world from the evils of the music industry.
Mhm.
And it does. So the hero itself is me as an artist, but I wear a costume.
Right.
So so with that being said, the way that I'm approaching the music is I'm making music that is, think about it like a soundtrack.
Right.
Like, think about it like if your favorite movie, you take the video out and you just have audio. That's
Mm.
kind of what I want, except I want it to be really music and skits. You know,
But would it be like the comic would be incorporated with it? Like you'd be saying the
yeah, it
dialogue
would
from
be
the comic?
incorporated to it, but there's also going to be some songs that are just like maybe what I'm talking about in the song isn't happening in the comic,
Right.
because the premise of the comic too is also that, hey, put your all into it and make some good music too. So you know, me, and songs that me and you have done. Quality is everything,
Yeah.
even the concept. So it's kind of like soundtrack as well, because there may be a scene where it just would sound cool if that one song was playing when that action is happening,
Hmm.
but it doesn't necessarily talk about what's happening in the book, because it's also a reflection of me doing music as well. So
Right.
it's more soundtrackish, I would say. Really, the skits are just more of, because the skits will be more of something that maybe happens in the book, because, and I have a few skits already made. It's just like everything else, I take my time with it. I'm not going to let anyone dictate, hey, you got to
Right.
drop this next week, because
But
the
are
quality
you
has to be there.
with your music now? Are you still making troublesome music that's not even nothing to do with the comic, or is
No,
everything you're making now just straight comic music?
no, I'm still making music. I'm still making troublesome music. Still
Right.
making troublesome music, um, because music is still an outlet for me. I love music. Don't get it twisted. I may love comics a little more, but I love music still. So
Hmm.
um, let's just say I come home from work and I had a bad day. Like, I'm gonna write about it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna write what I feel, and that hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed, this is what I will tell you has changed. It takes me longer to make a song now, because I want that song to be perfect. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that things can't be perfect, but I want to put my all into it.
Yeah, you
You
always
know,
want to be better than the one before.
and with Daniel, with Danny Dranks, I'm still signed to the label, so
Yeah.
that's, he's he always pushes me to go hard on the
Yeah.
music, but he also pushes me to go hard on the comics.
And
So
you
I
know, you
just,
know, one thing I respect you for, because I remember and I use it to my life to this day. But I remember when we were recording back in the day, and I think it was maybe during the Def Jam shit. And I remember I would always come to your house record, but I'd be high as fuck. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And I remember one day I came and I was sober, and I just like whatever you like, man, you rap better, and you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, and you perform better when you know what I'm saying, when you're not high. And I've been putting that in my life, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I've been putting to my podcast. So I thank you for that, because I I don't know. I just always incorporate, like, I'll smoke before I do everything.
Here's the
But
thing. Here's the
go
thing with
ahead.
that though. Like, you're my friend, dude. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna be that real friend and tell you, look, like, it's cool that you smoke, but look, I know you create a lot better when you're sober.
Yeah.
Because check this out, you did this for me, and dude, it killed your other shit out. Like, the other verse that you did, the initial verse you did for me on this one track,
Yeah.
the sober version sounded way better. And to be honest, like, I don't know if you remember this, but when you recorded, it was the verse to "I Ain't Him,"
Yeah.
and when you recorded that sober, like, to me, that was your best verse ever, because I saw one thing that you may not remember. You were happy when you did that shit, like,
Yeah.
and now you get to kind of remember it, because
Right, right.
I mean, man, like, if I smoked, you would outsmoke me any day, just because, like, I mean, that's you, like, that's you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you go hard with that sometimes, man. And it's just like, it's so easy to just enjoy doing that, but I
Hmm.
saw a side of you that I'm like, dude, like, I thought he went hard already, he went even harder, and he was
Yeah.
so what? Like let's make it happen, and we did, you know.
Now,
So that's there's always there's always a time, like to me, like if I did smoke, or I don't really drink anymore, so
mm,
you know I will drink on special occasion. But when I used to drink in the studio, like I would only drink after we're done recording and working.
right.
You know, it's like we would celebrate because we just knocked out a dope ass song or whatever. You know, like
See,
we're not.
I always like doing it before because you just feel like a alien that just space the fuck out or something. That, but
The one thing I noticed, you know, because well, back in the day, I mean, my house was hotel troublesome basically on the weekends. You know, so we're partying and making some music. And the one thing that I always noticed and was consistent is obviously when we're drinking, we have slower reactions. So
right,
back
yeah.
in the day, we were dubbing everything. We were even tripping, you know, and
Really?
yeah, we were dubbing.
Jesus
We were even
Christ.
tripping, you
We're
know,
fucking monsters,
and
nigga.
whenever we're doing them dubs and them and trips, you know, it was like one of those like man, like you couldn't. It was so hard for certain people to basically rap over their own vocals, you know.
And
That
sound the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would have to do is I'd have to play surgery and
Ah, fuck
literally
that.
chop
I
word,
ain't playing
word.
surgery with
You
no
know,
niggas
scoot
lyrics.
over a little bit. You know, I mean, it
Mm-mm.
would
You
take
have to
me
re-record it.
it would take me 2 3 days to mix a song because I had to do a lot of
Yeah, you tripping, nigga.
yeah.
You
But you know
you
what?
you too nice.
I put in that work though, because I mean,
You
it's just
did.
like
You did. You,
I had to, you know. It's just, but
yeah.
now, man,
Hey, tell me the truth. Have you ever had to play surgery on any of my shit?
nah, nah.
Okay, all right then.
I think the only thing I did was I was like, I don't like that ad lib. Let me like cut
Yeah,
that out and delete it, you know. But that's
yeah.
about it, man. You
Hey,
know.
one thing I want to ask you about comics. How do you come up with your price points? Like what you're selling it for?
So I had I had a I had a comic shop owner tell me, you know, um, that there's a safe, I guess, for business. There's a safe, I guess, rule. I guess mark to be safe, just to kind of cover your cost. At least mark it up 40%. You know, and
40% of like what are you paying for one comic to get
you're
made?
paying anywhere from 250 to 350. You know, per copy, and then you got
Two
to
dollars
squeeze
and
it in.
50 cents.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're also, so that shifts up maybe about $1 because of shipping, you know, because I order books and shipping is crazy with books. Like
Yeah.
I'll order 100 books and my shipping is already like $100, and I'm like, shit, man, you know.
Damn.
So I try to keep that in mind, and then fact I try to factor in some artwork costs, but that's hard because then my book ends up being like 10 or $15 sometimes, you know. So I'm
Right.
just like, let me just keep it, in the $5 to $10 range, depending on how many
Mhm.
pages I have in the book. So
Oh,
if
so
I
you okay? So the pages depend. Okay.
because the more pages you have, that's more printing that's going to be done. It's going to be more expensive.
Right.
So let's just say, with shipping and the book itself, let's just say per book of the order I just placed cost me $4. Let's just
Hmm.
say, I would take that four, and at least I have to at least mark it up 40%, which I'm not gonna try to do the math right now, but
Right. Now you
it's
get
gonna be
it.
about, $5 or $6 probably.
Okay.
Um, but sometimes I'm like, well, let me up it 50%, so that way I have more of how can I put it? I can feel like I'm making some money.
Right.
Because here's the thing, $5, $7, $10
Mm.
takes a long time to add up,
Yeah.
to cover what you spent on the book.
Hmm.
So I'll be honest, my first year, even though I sold a lot of books, I spent more money on merchandise and books, just
Yeah.
getting the books and stuff made. So
Mm.
I had a loss. So on my taxes, sorry, IRS. I had a loss this year, and
Yeah.
that's just it. It
Wow.
is what it is,
Okay.
And
So,
here, where I'm at now, that gap where let's
mm,
just say this is a loss, right here, right. After each year, it keeps going like this, like this,
yeah.
like this, and next thing you know, this year or 2020, even though it was such a crap year, I had a profit last year
Mm,
on comics.
yeah.
You know, which
Okay.
being the year that it was, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have
Yeah.
accomplished that. Um, man, I don't know how I did it, what I did it. All I know is that I worked hard to try to make that happen. You
Yeah,
know,
man. You a hard worker.
and man, I got to give a big, big shout out to the Hive Comics in Odessa because
Shout
since
out to
day one
Hive.
they've supported my book. So when I
Mm,
drop a book, I do a release there, and 90% of the time, I make most of my money for the year there, which is weird
wow.
because it's like
That means the people fucking with you.
yeah, and that makes me feel good and assures me that you got a great product, you got a great
Yeah.
story, people love it, keep
Yeah.
creating. So
Yeah.
that keeps me going, man. But here's the thing, let's get in hustle mode.
Okay,
So
let's
what
go.
I did though, I took it up a notch. I had radio commercials for my
Mm,
releases. But here's the thing: I'm a bartering man. So I did some work for the radio station, video work, and in
mm.
exchange, I'm getting commercial slots.
Wow.
And when I say I work my ass off to get those commercials,
Yeah.
let's just say they practically got it free. Because
Yeah.
what I would have charged them, they wouldn't have paid. They wouldn't have paid at
Mm,
all. So I'm the one
yeah.
who put in the most work. And to me, I'm like, look, you're used to putting in work.
Yeah.
Just do it, and I did it, and to be honest, like I had people come into the comic shop and they're like, man, we heard the radio station, we heard your ad on the radio,
That's
we wanted to
dope.
see what it's about.
That's
I'm like,
dope.
man,
That's real dope. That's real dope.
a lot of people wouldn't have taken that initiative just because
Yeah.
they're thinking about the cost of
Right.
of a commercial. To me, I'm like, look, man, if you're willing to do a trade, I will work. You need
Yeah.
me to do something for you that I can do, I will do it in exchange for whatever you can offer me. Like
Yeah.
and it's a win-win. They
No.
get it dirt cheap, and I get what I need too.
Right. Now, before we go to the next topic, I have a question.
Okay.
But Danny, and this is something I've been asking. He says, "Will Moke make a guest appearance in a Troubles Back comic book?" I always said that I need to be in there.
You know what? Here's the thing. So that brings up a very good point. How do I pick my characters?
Yeah.
So everything has to happen organically.
Mm,
So every character that's in the book, it could have been it could have been us just podcasting right now, right? And it inspires an idea,
yeah.
and then I'm like, yo, well, you want to be a character in the book? This is what I have planned for you.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection of what you already do in life.
You should make my character like a swole ass Mr. Popo, like blackface,
I
big
could,
big pink lips, and,
I could,
and, and like headphones.
but here's the thing though, like I would have your character play how you are in real life in a sense, because
Sinister.
you're not sinister, man. You're not sinister, but like you never know. You could be that. You could be like the famous, like podcaster, easily.
Yeah.
You could be Sincere to Moki, the rapper, or you could be like I would touch on whatever it is that I feel like is going to go good with the story. And
Yeah.
chances
Yeah.
are there's probably going to be a similar incident that's actually happened, you know, um, like okay, so see if you remember this Hip Hop Fest. Remember that performance I filmed of you, where
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
you
yes.
you before you got there. I think
I
you
got in
guys
a
were in a
car wreck.
wreck, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so picture this, and who knows? This may be the way I can do it. You get in that car wreck,
Yeah.
then you have special abilities. You know,
But what gave me those abilities though?
the type of car that hit you? It was a Cadillac.
Fucking Cadillac Tesla.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just spitballing, but
Nah, yeah, I got
it
you.
literally could be something like that, you know.
Or
Um,
it was like this dude, and he had like some uranium or something in there,
yeah,
and with the impact, boom, shit came back. I don't know. I could be on that all day.
yeah. I mean,
Okay,
you know,
now,
I mean,
so
you just never know, man.
you say you inspire people. So now let's just walk with me for a second. So now
Okay,
there's this little kid, or not little kid. There's this guy. He's a rapper, and he's kind of like done his thing in rap, but now he wants to do comics.
okay,
So now he's doing everything he got to do, got the artists, all that. But in comics, how do you start reaching out to a fan base versus like with rap, you can just throw social media, blah, blah. But when you got your issues, and I mean, outside, I guess it would have to be word of mouth because it's just like your homies are going to get it. And then what, what,
okay.
what, what, what would you tell somebody? How would you tell somebody to go about it?
So you got to put yourself out there, obviously,
Right.
and this is just my opinion. I don't think social media alone can do it for you.
Right. I
So,
be trying to tell people that.
so, so here's the thing. I feel like people have to be like Master P. They got to
Mm,
pop up on people and go to events and show their face and make those hand to hand sales. My fan base was built on hand to hand sales and actually meeting people and giving them my sales pitch about my book to make that sell. And to me, I feel like
so
that's what you got to do. You got to put yourself
when
out
you
there.
say meeting, but yeah, was you like on the corner just holding them? Like when you say meeting people, were you going
So
to Comic Cons and being like, "Yo, I got my own shit," or
I would get a table first, obviously get the table and people are passing by. Presentations is everything.
no?
So,
But I'm not talking about Comic Con though. I'm
okay.
talking about just in life outside of
So,
Comic Con. Like, how'd you start getting your name out?
um, work, um, being out in public, like, the comic shop helped a lot because people are already there for comics. So
Hmm.
you start talking to people and then those people start talking. So it's more of a word of mouth, but how are people going to know you're doing something if you're not telling people? So I'm telling people, hey, I'm working on this, hey, check this out, man. What do you think about this? And I'm showing people, hey, look, I'm working on this comic. Check out this page right here. Cause
Yeah.
I always have pages on me on my cell phone. Now that I got stuff printed, I carry some with me all the time. Like,
But so when you say you, like carry page, like you might just have like one page of.
yeah, I'll have a digital page in my phone,
Okay, so you're not
but
just having like
but
paper pages.
now, but now,
Oh,
like right now, I'll have actual comics with me, and I'm like, I'm not shy anymore like I used to be. Like, I could be standing at the store trying to pay
mm,
something, right? And I see somebody wearing, a Batman T-shirt or a comic related shirt, and I'm like, hey, I'll strike up this conversation, be like, oh, yo, man,
yeah,
you like that, man? You like comics, and then if anybody tells me they like comics, that's an instant sale right there because I'll tell them about it. But hey, man, I'll carry if I'm in the store, I'm like, yo, I got some books in the car if you want one, or check it out, I got a business card on me,
yeah.
look me up, So I'm however I can get some kind of information to somebody saying, hey, this is what I do, man. Check me out, man. At least
Mm,
just give it a shot. Look it up, see what you think.
right.
And that's all you really got to do is just tell people, and other people will tell people. And then once you have that following, social media can come into play, and a lot of people are going to already follow you, and they're going to be like, they're going to see that other people are talking about your stuff, and it's just a big circle of life kind of
Right.
thing where it all comes full circle. And like, I've met people that I didn't even know do comics, and we have so many things, so many common interests. Like, I'll meet people that I've never met in real life.
Mm,
Now I'm really good friends on social media with them, and we talk and give each other advice.
right.
And then when it comes to comic cons and all that other stuff, you know if people remember you because you're putting in that hard work, like, they will never forget you, and they will
Yeah.
always check up on you. They will tell people about you, so it just starts to grow from there. And
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, people just got to put themselves out there. You
Right.
can't just sit behind the computer and do it. You just can't.
Right.
Even in this pandemic, you still gotta put yourself out there. We're still allowed to go to the store. We're still allowed to see friends. You know,
Right. Yeah.
it's just different, but you're still
Now,
able to tell people about it.
let's speaking of the pandemic, my next question, and I feel like now that I'm looking at it, I might have wrote it the grammar wrong,
Yeah, it's all right.
but how I think it should be how has the Rona changed Comic Con? Because
Yeah,
how's the Rona? Because that's saying like how's like how you doing or how's the Rona change? I don't know,
yeah.
man. I'm
It's all.
mind
It's all.
fucked right now.
People understand what you're asking.
Hopefully, somebody in the comments correct me. But so I'm gonna just give you what I see Comic
Okay.
Con right now because I'm hearing like South by Southwest is gonna be virtual or some shit. I don't know
Yeah.
because somebody told me that there's some places or whatever, but I heard it's gonna be virtual. So that's why I'm doing the Moke by Moke West shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like Comic Con would be like that too. Could I? Am I wrong?
Yes. No, you're right.
But
So
is that even fun anymore? Then
here's the thing. It's not the same. It's
right.
not the same. But just like I'm talking to you right now, I still get that joy of telling people about my book.
I mean, yeah,
You know,
it's cool. Like it's like the
but it's
virtual panel, but
it's not the same because it's
what
you
about
don't
the
have that.
people
You
who
don't.
buy tables?
Yeah, you don't have that person. Well, here's the thing. There are some cons that are saying, hey, it's $20 for a table, but you know,
It's
shout
just to
out
be have a link.
pretty much. But here's maybe the virtual con has a huge following. Maybe they're on YouTube and they have a huge number of subscribers. So I
Right.
can kind of see where that kind of helps. But this is where I got to give a shout out to the comic. There's a group called Comic Related Madness, and
Mm-hmm.
they actually hold what they call crom cons,
Hmm?
and
What's that?
basically CromCon is just the acronym of Comic Related Madness, and it's con, Comic Con, whatever, right?
Hmm.
So they reach out, I'm on the group, and when I want to participate, I let whoever's moderating, like, hey, I want to be on the next one, and they'll put me on,
Yeah.
and they've been a lot of help through this pandemic. They've been a huge help to try to get our story out there.
Hmm.
So here's the thing about a virtual Comic Con: you may not make a sale right there while you're live, but then people follow you, and then they start going to my website, or they'll hit me up directly. Hey, how can I get
Are you
how can
selling
I get it?
digital copies?
I will send digital copies if someone requests it, but a lot of people like to buy physical, so that's I love that.
That's what I figured
Like
because
like I like
I'm a
I'll mail it. I'll mail everything and whatnot. But here's one of the beauty that happened with it with one of the online Comic Cons I did.
mm,
There was a guy that works at a comic shop in Florida, and he bought like 10 or 15 books or whatever, and then I threw a whole bunch of free stuff in there. He bought like
mm.
issue 3, and I threw in a whole bunch of issue 1 and 2s and bracelets and all kinds of shit, because to me, I'm like, it's an investment. So I'm like, look, let's get my book out in Florida. So my book is out in Florida at a shop called The Collective in Florida. So I'm slowly trying to get my book in other stores, just because I'm not on some distribution company where they're helping me distribute, nationwide. Doesn't
Right.
mean I can't reach out to a comic shop and say, hey, look, I'm an indie creator. I got my own book. I can send you a copy to check out. If you like it, would you be interested in keeping it, put it on your shelves, and,
Yeah.
it's really that simple. And that's where it comes to putting that effort to get your book out there.
Right.
You
So
know,
I'm gonna use the terms of music in the comic world. Are you looking to be signed, or is that a thing, or would you rather be
it,
independent?
so it's a thing. It is a
Okay.
thing. But to be honest, just like in music, the independent route, there's more money there,
It's more
but
fulfilling. Yeah.
you're doing more legwork to get there.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So to
And you're
me,
spending your own money too.
I would rather take Troublesome Comics as the publisher and get a distribution deal with with
Right.
with so with comics, the one, it feels like a monopoly kind of, but there is one company that you want to get on with, and they distribute nationwide.
Yeah.
And they're called Diamond. Diamond Distribution.
Mm.
So that would be awesome to be able to do that.
What did the distributors look for?
I think I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure part of it's going to be just like if you were signing any kind of deal. They want to make sure you have a following
Mm.
and that it'll sell. But
Yeah.
here's the thing with all that. I'm paying for everything. They're only going to help distribute it. That's all they're going to do. I'm going to pay
Right.
for my artist. I'm going to pay for the printing. This is what I understand, and I may be a little wrong on some of that, but that's the way I understand it. I'm going to pay for everything except, except,
Do they give in
except,
advance?
nah, you don't get none of that.
Oh.
No, it's just basically like being, having access to have your book listed so that people can buy it, and who knows,
Right.
maybe they do help print. I don't know.
Right.
I haven't looked too much into it because right now I'm still in the building stages. I feel,
Yeah.
I may have 3 issues out, working on another series as well on top of that, but I'm still building,
Yeah.
and right now, just to kind of give people an idea how I'm going about things
Mm-hmm.
from a tax perspective. I'm treating myself as a sole proprietor,
Right.
because I am building and I'm trying to build capital so that I can go ahead and LLC a company name to be able to do more, and like everything else, me, I take my steps, and I don't go from A to Z overnight.
Right.
It's years in the making. And that's just how I've been going about things, man. I mean,
Mm.
uh, I feel like everything deserves the time to plan and keep pushing forward, man.
Yeah.
Because I the hard work pays off when you do that. If you don't plan and put in that hard work, then I feel like you're doing it for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. All right, so we are at the hour mark, so I'm gonna go with one more. I guess not
Okay.
a question, but one more tidbit,
Okay.
and that is your
Troublesome
plug.
Comics.
Now, what is that? What can we find here? What is this about?
So Troublesome Comics is two things. It's my online store, but
Hmm.
it's also where you find out about the book and stuff.
Right.
So it's my website in essence, and anything that I drop when that comic related, it's gonna go on the page.
Right.
So where you get to find out about what I'm doing, what I'm selling, where
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at. I mean, just your typical website, but I get to control it, because I always want to make changes and I want to keep it up to date.
Hmm.
Which I'll be honest, I've been a little bad about it because I've been swamped with a lot of other things. But when I'm good, I'm updating it frequently.
Yeah.
That if someone follows me, they'll be able to see new stuff on the site all the time. Like what I'll be able to do with this video, I'll be able to put this on the homepage. You know,
Hey.
so like someone goes to the site, they'll be able to watch this podcast,
Yeah.
and watch it there.
So okay,
Now,
because
well, here's
the audience.
I missed one thing.
Go
So
ahead.
why Troublesome Comics? Like
Yeah.
I was saying
Yeah.
earlier, right?
Yeah.
Everything started with Troublesome.
Uh,
So it's only natural to roll with that Troublesome Comics because Troublesome was that seed that started everything I create and led to comics. So I rolled with Troublesome Comics because I mean, it was a no brainer, really.
yeah. Jesus, shout out Jesus. He's saying audience question. If there's a question, you can just type it in, and I'll put it on the screen so he can see if anybody want to ask something. Because Jesus came at me like he got some ass. Now he ain't typing shit. Yo, so do you have your LLC and all that?
No, right now it's so proprietor right now. So it's
What's
basically
that?
it's just basically me under my name.
Hmm.
My LLC will probably come this year. Um, I'm just trying to plan everything out because here's the thing: before anyone does anything, they should do the research on what tax implications you do by going DBA, LLC, S corp, all that good stuff. Because here's the thing, you don't want to just jump into something and not know that, oh, you know what, since I'm an LLC, I'm supposed to file here in Texas, I'm supposed to file this franchise tax or something,
No.
like there's a lot of, there's a lot of research you want to do before you jump into something. Because I mean,
Oh, yo, I've been zoned out just talking.
yeah.
Did you want to show some of your shit?
Oh shit, yeah, let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
show what we're working with. Man, I almost forgot too, got caught
Maybe
up with.
because I saw the bottom of the screen. I was like, oh shit, that's still there.
Yeah, let's
Let me know and I'll add it whenever you're ready.
all right, let me open this back up.
He is going to, I guess, show us whatever he wants to show us.
Yeah, I'll show you a couple of like covers and stuff of the book. So let's
Yeah,
yeah, just let me in and let me do this. Share this. Share
it's
screen.
it's
Share
on.
screen. Screen two. All right, let's do this, man.
Wait,
All right.
there we go.
All right, let's do this. So
So that's you.
yeah, that's me.
Okay.
So this is where it all kind of started. Like how do I bring these two worlds together?
Yeah.
To me, like I had to show, like, to me, like the type of story that I have, superhero thing, right? So
Hmm.
like you can't just show myself in a costume, So I'm like,
Yeah.
look, let's show who I am first. Um, so this is the first cover, and as you can see, I'm sitting there writing some music, while everything's going wrong in the world, I'm getting lost in music.
So how did you describe this to the artist?
Basically like that, really. Hey,
So
look,
you were like shit going crazy outside the window, broken pictures. Like I'm
yeah.
in a.
So here's the thing though too. I am I kind of I have an office job.
Mm,
So in the story, I have that kind of work, except I own my own
mm,
company in there or whatever.
yeah.
So me as a person, I'm gonna wear that attire that I wear to work. So
Sup,
that's
Josh?
basically what you got going. I
Uh-huh.
want people to relate to the story, so I give them a piece of me, you know. And as you remember on the first issue, it's like it all every good story starts with a tragedy. So and my
Right.
tragedy was my parents losing my
Right.
parents. So that's like that's how I kind of started the story, introduced my personal details. And to be honest,
Hmm.
that's the best thing I ever did, because people will tell me, oh man, like I can relate to this so much because, like, hey, I've been through something like that. Or,
Yeah.
like, or they'll tell me, look, I feel closer to the story because you did let us in. You let us
Right.
know those
Right.
personal details.
So
So
there's some truth to your life to the story.
it's all based on reality, except,
Okay.
there are some things we elaborate on because, we want to make the story great, and it's so easy to elaborate, but
Right.
90% of it is based on reality.
Okay.
There's nothing too crazy in there that couldn't happen in real life, really.
Right. So can we see some more
Yeah,
pictures?
let's do this.
I bet I ain't trying to rush you.
No, I got you. I should have been saying something about this.
Nah, man. It was you was speaking your shit. You was
Yeah,
dropping your knowledge.
so let's do this right here. Do this. We'll plug the website and show the first three issues of the covers.
Okay.
All right, so
Is that Troubles Comics? That's your logo? That's cool.
the Troubles
The,
Back, that's the name of, oh yeah,
no,
right here,
I'm talking about the
that's the
brain.
logo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
logo
cool.
to Troublesome Comics, basically. And
Yeah.
that's, I'm embracing me being a nerd.
Is Alice based on a real person?
Now Alice is based on the fact that redheads are rare and they're cool, so
That
I just
was
did that.
that was Jesus.
No, it's not. But you know what? If you ever do find a look-alike, let me know, because I could probably, maybe have her cosplay or something.
Yeah.
But no, Alice is more of a. Honestly, I don't even know how I came up with the name, but
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted somebody unique, and to me, redheads are unique.
Right.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I got to have
The
a
gingers.
cute redhead, um, play an important role. She's more of an idea than a person.
Right.
So But I mean, man, if Alice was based on a person, everybody would know, and she'd be cosplaying at Comic Cons with me.
I thought you could say she'd have OnlyFans.
You know what? I mean, whatever Alice does on her own free time, that's on Alice. So um,
so who's the guy in the red mask?
so that is Gavino, aka the Voodoo Child, Gino. I mean, he's a music artist. He's one of my best friends, and he's my brother, man. Like,
Wait, that's the
shit.
guy that's the guy in the red mask you're fighting?
So here's the thing. His character was based on stuff that was going on in his life,
Okay.
and not to give too much away, but he comes in the story because he wants to do music, and with music, me and you both know that when we do music, at some point we wanted the fame, we wanted
Right.
to,
Right.
so with him, he's gonna go through a battle of what would you do for fame type thing,
Yeah.
um now I will tell you that you got to read the story, because right now, like, you're thinking bad guy forever, that may or may
Right.
not be the case, so it's like one of those things, like, even though my friends can be a bad guy in the story, there's always a reasoning for that,
Yeah, this
and
this is what Josh said. He said we all fight the red man, the mask inside of us. So is that true?
yeah, that is true though, man. I mean, that is,
Ah. Okay.
and I will tell you this, this J this the his character is also based on the persona that he has in music,
Oh.
because he's gone on stage, puts on the red mask,
Mm.
and performs, you know, and in the story, his name is the Silver Tongue Devil, you
Okay.
know, and Silver Tongue because, you know, most rappers only rap.
Right.
Well, I don't consider Gavino a rapper. I
Mm-hmm.
consider him a music artist. He's a true musician, true performer. He sings, he raps, he dances, he puts on a show.
Right.
So to me, the fact that he raps and sings and does all that good stuff, that is what the Silver Tongue Devil is.
Okay.
You
I
know.
feel so now let's get one more picture and then we have
Okay.
to
Let's see.
nigga gotta eat.
Let's
Yeah, this is very that's your imagination is crazy. Imagine how it would be if you did shrooms.
well, you never know. Let's hit them with an announcement. A lot of people that follow me know about this, but for the new people
Talk
that
to
don't
these
know, we'll hit
niggas.
them with an announcement right here.
Okay,
So
announcement, but
beside,
one more comic strip though. I want to see one more though.
oh, you want to see one more?
No, no,
Let's
no.
do
Do the
this.
announcement. Do the announcement. Do the announcement. Do the announcement.
Okay, let's do this announcement right here. So on top of doing Trouble's Back, I'm working on a new series that's
Mm.
almost done, and it's called
Yes,
Cubicle
Cubicle
Wars.
Wars. I've been
Yes,
seeing that.
yeah. So throughout my journey, I've met, I've these are my brothers too, man. Like, dude,
Yeah.
they I met them through doing Trouble's Back, and they became fans of my book.
Hmm.
Caleb right here on the bottom left hand corner, he's like my road dog. Like, he goes to all the Comic Cons with me. You
So he's
know,
your artist,
he's one of
not
my
to Trouble's
artists.
back.
Not for Trouble's Back. For
Okay.
Trouble's Back, he's done covers for me.
Okay.
Now for
Okay.
this story, there is specific art he's doing on pages and some
Uh huh.
covers. My other buddy Michael Fox, um, he's doing the majority of the book because he is his art style fits what I'm trying to create,
Mm.
and it looks lovely, man. So there are two artists in this book, which means two different art styles. So the question I want to
Ah.
leave everybody with is, why is there two art styles? Well, you got to find out. You got to get the book and
Oh,
find out,
I was about to answer. Okay,
because
I don't know the
because
answer.
it's gonna be an effective method but also such an enjoyable reading experience
Can,
because
can, 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 can I give an answer that I think, but
yeah,
don't
yeah,
tell me
give
if
me
it's
that's
right.
what do you think?
Okay. I think there's two artists because there's an artist for the regular real time life, and then there's an artist for the flashbacks.
Could be,
Probably totally wrong. Okay, but it's probably wrong.
but you have good reasoning why there could be two art styles.
Right. Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense, But I will say when you read this, you're going to be more like, oh, okay,
Can,
okay,
can,
this,
can, can you just give a little bit what is about?
yeah, I can give what it's about. So Cubicle Wars is, me doing office life. I created it, inspired this story. Except rather than making it about me, because it's not always about me.
Right.
Like I just had a great idea, and these two artists made me push this story even harder because I we talked about it and I had ideas and I'm like they helped me take it further. So it ends up being based on a recent college grad
Uh-huh.
that lands his dream job only to realize over time that things are not always what they appear.
I'm tired of it.
You know, but I will say that this story is not based on reality.
Mm,
It's just based on ideas,
right.
and it might have a sci-fi element. It might have a drama feel to it.
See,
There's
to
some
me,
there's
it
some
sounds
comedy in it.
comedy to me.
See, that's the thing. Like I've had a lot of people who want it to be comedy. So
Right. Because the
all it's gonna,
name.
so it's gonna there will be there'd be some issues that's gonna have heavy comedy. There's gonna be some real serious stuff. Then there's
Yeah.
gonna be some real let's just put it this way: anything that can happen on the job, doesn't matter how far fetched it is,
Right.
it can happen in Cubicle Wars. Anyone that's ever had a job can relate to it, but even take it further because I mean, this is one that I'm not confined to reality. I can put anything I want in this book because at the
Right.
end of the day, I'm writing it.
Right. Yeah.
So man, I can't wait for people to start seeing this, to be honest, because
When can we expect the release for that?
so I plan to have the book ready for print next month.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be um like the end of the month or is it going to carry into April. However, I've been throwing this idea around. I'm going to do a soft release at the Hive, but I'm going to do a Kickstarter. And a
Okay.
Kickstarter is a crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
Basically, think about it like people pre order your book,
Mm,
and I'm basically getting that money up front to be able to pay for print.
right.
Because I
Okay.
mean, like I was saying, it's expensive, but
Yeah.
now I'll have more reach.
Mm,
You know, as long as people like you doing podcasting, this is going to be a lot of help because I get to tell people about the story and then
yeah.
show them, hey, go over to this link, check out my Kickstarter. You can read about it, check a couple pages out, see if you like it. If you like it, back it,
Yeah.
pre-order the project, and then next thing you know, a couple of months later, it's arriving in people's mailboxes.
Yeah. That's cool. That's
But
fucking
yeah,
dope.
and the beauty about these two guys, they're from Odessa.
Oh
You
wow!
know,
Shout out Odessa. Shout
so
out one
so
for
so it's nice to me. I would rather work with an artist that I can sit there and bounce ideas to, and they can sketch while I'm there and whatnot. And there's more interaction. And to be honest, I'm able to take the story a lot further than I am with Troubles Back
Yeah.
because of that reason.
Is it
Nothing
like a
against.
spinoff?
No, it's not a spinoff at all.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just a story, man, that I came up with.
Right. Okay. So
And
give us one more comic.
all right, let's do.
Are you gonna mail out issues of Cubicle Wars?
Yeah, I'll mail them out. Yeah,
All right. I want one.
yeah. So,
Give us a doozy.
let's do this. Let's actually show um, actual pages from Troubles Back.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, like I was saying earlier, things are based on reality, and this, like me as a person, things I'm going through.
Right.
So, uh, this takes place in Odessa,
Mm-hmm.
and right there I have a picture of what I went through when my father was passing,
Yeah.
you know, and when I was talking about lettering earlier, all the bubbles that are there and everything,
Mm-hmm.
like I did, and then the sound effect where he's gasping, like
Yeah.
I did all that. I learned how to do that,
Yeah.
and the artwork. I mean, look at the artwork, man. I mean,
Yeah. It's dope. It's fucking dope.
that artwork is shelf ready.
Yeah.
Like it is shelf ready,
You got
and
you looking like an action hero.
yeah, yeah. That's you know. I may have an average build in real life, but in
Right.
comics, I can have the
Hey,
muscles. I can I can I
you
can have whatever I want. I can be 6 feet
yeah.
tall if I want.
You make me
So
I better be strong. Shit.
you know. But
That's
yeah, I mean, look at that, man. Let's
dope.
there you go. Let's do this right here. Uh, I want to show this part right here. This is an actual picture of my parents and myself as a kid.
Oh wow.
So my artist was able to
Wow.
incorporate that into the artwork.
That's dope.
And then of course there's the lovely Alice,
Yeah.
and we got Danny Dranks right here, Dr. Dranks.
Hey, shout out Danny Jakes.
You know, he's he's my brother, man, and he had to be in the story, and
Mm-hmm.
expect a spin-off where I have a one shot of his story,
Oh,
at
okay.
some point, yeah.
That'd be
So,
dope.
I mean, that guy doesn't he's done so much for a lot of people and doesn't always
Yeah.
get the credit he deserves. And I mean, to be honest, he should be up there working with the Timberlands and the Dre's
Yeah.
and all that good stuff. So to me, anything I can do to always include him in anything I'm doing and give him that, just tell hey
Yeah.
man, fucking Dranks is a fucking beast.
Look,
Like,
I just got an idea. And sorry to cut you off.
okay.
But okay, here's my character. So, and I'm not, like, so my daughter passed away, right? And
Mhm.
so I'm a good guy, and then my daughter passes away, and I start podcasting. But my power is I fucking talk people to death. But if I be quiet, then I die. So I'm always just fucking talking.
Mm.
But and now since it's so like annoying, I become like a villain. So I'm just fucking talking, and they put me in this like a jail, and they give me my own podcast. I'm just talking for hours and hours and hours, and somebody comes breaking me out, and I'm just talking niggas to death. And oh
That
man,
that that actually would be kind of cool, but I think we'd have to take it a step further somehow.
what's
Yeah.
that?
You got to do more than just talking. I feel like
Okay.
because here's the thing: you can still blend in, and instead of always talking to, like when you're not talking, you could still be rapping and blending in the environment that way as well.
Reptilian.
So I mean, there's so many directions that could go.
Yeah,
But I think with a little refining the character and making sure we think about a lot of things, we
yeah.
can make something like that happen easily. It's just so here, okay, I gotta let another announcement. So E Craze is a character in issue 4.
Yo, shout out
um
Craze.
and I had to do it because to me making him a character is like saying thank you for showing me the way, in a
Shout
sense.
out Craze, man. I love that
But
nigga.
also, like, why would I not make him a character? It's just it took me to get to issue 4 to say now's the time for you to be a character,
Yeah, yeah.
because my way of thinking is like it's got to hit me with like, yo, it's time.
Hmm.
So like if I ever hit you up and be like, yo, we're doing it,
I'm
issue
gonna be like,
five is yours. Like
oh,
that's when that I'm like I've already set on, and I already
yeah,
have the whole plan, just kind of like this is what we're gonna do.
yeah,
And then boom, then it happens. That's how it happens with every character. Even Dewey Davidson is a character in issue 2.
yeah.
I mean, like you
Okay,
just never know, man. Like
yeah.
I've had him show up at the Hive, to kind of make an appearance and just kind of just yeah. And it's crazy because people know him, because of his videos. So it's
Just
like,
weather bad, yeah.
it was cool, man. It was so cool because I mean,
That's dope.
but do you always shows love, man? Do you
And,
do
and,
you?
and it's dope you putting your friends on, you know what I'm saying? You're incorporating real people
Yeah.
that you know and shit, so that's cool. Tell the people where they can find you. But
So first thing first, troublesomecomics.com.
mhm.
I have links to get to my social medias, but for I always have to read this because I forget myself. So my Facebook, you can either look it up with Troubles Back Comic or look it up as official Troubles Back. Instagram, Troubles Back 01, Twitter, Troubles Back 01, and then you'll start to see where I'm always posting links to my other pages like Troublesome Comics, Cubicle Wars Comic. Um, I will say it is hard to run all those damn pages.
I
So
bet.
sometimes I just tag all the pages when I post stuff. But yeah, I mean, and I mean, you guys have seen my name. You know, I'd like to say that I don't just add random people sometimes to my
Yeah.
Facebook, but I add random people sometimes.
I do that all the
Now,
time.
if you hit my inbox asking me to give you, some money because you're a prince, like that's not happening. That's an automatic block.
Yeah.
Or if you're telling me, hey man, have you not got that government grant? The government is giving away free money. I was like, really? Well,
They are.
you're from Nacogdoches or something, or you're from fucking Brazil or Nigeria, and you're telling me that my own government is gonna give me some money. Like the only money I know is my stimulus check, and that ain't arrived yet. So,
I ain't even seen no stimmy. No stimmy. All
so
right, man. So, yo, it's always a pleasure.
yes, sir.
It's always a pleasure to have you on, man. Like, like I've always told you, like I'm proud to see your growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
Thank
I
you.
knew that, you know, that you were doing the. I'm just happy to see you just really in comics and that you really like fucking love it. Cause I knew how much you loved different comics and all that stuff, but I'm happy to see that you're living out your dream and you're making your own comics as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the weather here is it's I'm just answering a question from Jesus, but the snows it snowed a little bit today, but I feel like it's gonna be good. How's the shit over there? How's it looking?
The residential roads that aren't being traveled on are all iced out. But
Still?
the main roads, like they've been de-iced. So I
Yeah,
mean, you get on the main roads, you have no problem.
yeah.
So not that anybody from my work is watching, but if they were, they better cut their ass to work tomorrow because I'm gonna be at work.
Hey, hey,
So,
hey, man! I
uh,
appreciate you for being on the show.
there's one last thing I want to say because it's
What's
important. I know
up?
we didn't really get to talk about it, but man, with everything going on, besides just the pandemic, and then just like the this week, how it's been here for us Texans, man, like it's been rough.
Yeah,
Like, yo, get your mental health in check, man. Like
facts.
that's important because if you don't, like, you're gonna be miserable. And man, I mean, I want everybody to be happy and don't be scared to get some help, man.
Yeah,
I will gladly admit I got some help myself. And the pandemic gave me too much time to think, so I got
mm,
help myself, and I'm a lot better. I have them days I struggle, but had I not got some help,
yeah.
I don't know
It's
where
been
I'd
tough.
be, man.
Yeah. Damn, but that's good. I know, like, yes, I always tell people check on your friends, check your
Yeah.
mental health, man. You know what I'm saying? And just take care of yourself. Enjoy, man. It's always love, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
this your first time being on my podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You've been bougie. You've been bougie.
Nah, nah. You've been. How can I put it? Moving me to the back of the line, because
Oh, come on, guy.
no, not.
Relax.
Every time you'd hit me up about a podcast and be like, "Let me know when," and then
I be high as fuck. And
I won't. And I figured that because then I'll hit like you'll answer the question like a month later or something, and I'm like, it's gonna happen when it happens.
yeah,
But yeah, so here's the thing. I'm gonna put it out there because we got to make it happen. When Comic Cons get better and Austin has one that I for sure can go to.
yeah.
Um, I want you to go out there and maybe do a live
Yes.
broadcast or something, you know.
Nigga, hey, I'm dope. I'll dress up as Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy
So
VII
yeah,
or Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. I just wear
there
the
you go.
patch, so
There you go.
I am definitely down for that shit. I'm
Yeah,
down.
yeah. Because Austin has a good one, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just got to work my way up there, man.
hmm So, man, all right, man, it's been real.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
about to go do shit, so I'm gonna holler at you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'll let you know when Cubic Awards is out because we definitely got a pod for that.
Sounds good. Sounds like a
So,
plan.
all
All
right,
right,
man. You have a good one.
holla.
Stay
Yeah,
blessed, man.
thank you. Thank you everybody for watching my show, and I just like doing this little outro thing.